I wish my dentist had been an AMD. In fact, my dad was my dentist. And I constantly think, if he were still alive, how much he would love this and how much I wish he had been an AMD, because God rest his soul, he actually impacted my airway by extracting teeth on me when I was younger. And that's what they did back then. But knowing what I've learned, he would have thought so much different. And I think he would have treated himself different. And I think he would still be with me here today had I known this when he was alive and had he known this.
You know, as a 40-year-old person, it was tough, but I knew that I needed to do something dramatic, and I knew that this would help. If you're in a position like me where it's like really tough, I understand. And I'll say that for me, it was the biggest game changer that would support me and my son. So I know it may seem like a lot, and it's overwhelming to anybody to think about the energy and time and appointments, but it's been so worth it. And if you could do anything for your own health, like get your airway back, get your sleep back, and get your life back. And I promise that there's hope and well-being on the other side. And it's not your fault that you've suffered so much. I'm sorry. It's been a lot. And I'm really grateful. I'm just crying because I'm relieved that somebody figured it out, because I don't want to know what my life would look like if I didn't have Dr. Leal's support. Thank you.
Step one in our clinical education as dentists should be in conjunction with Dr. Leal's philosophy on underdeveloped jaws and how a healthy mouth really leads to a healthy whole person. It's the beginning and it's the start. Being able to at least identify when there's an underdeveloped jaw or an airway issue really should be the basis of all dental treatments. It really should be, number one, we should identify that and then move on to restoring teeth and dentition, because, as I've seen in my clinical career, and I'm sure many people have seen as well, is that sometimes you fix everything and then it just doesn't work. It keeps degrading downhill, and they're the cases that, drive you nuts and don't let you sleep at night. And, once we start getting into airway and understanding, why those issues are occurring and why those patients have problems, then it just opens up your eyes to really, truly what we really should be doing. It's not something that there should be just a subset of dentistry or one guy should be doing this. Every single dentist should be aware of this and should be incorporating it into their practice.
I just can't even believe it's such a dramatic change.
Being an AMD, in terms of how it's improved my practice, obviously my practice has grown tremendously over the last 4 years since I started doing airway-centered dentistry, to the point where I had to get an associate. We're now finishing her second year with me. She's been full-time for a year. And so the practice has grown, and we now have 2 full-time doctors instead of 1, very specifically because being airway-centered has tremendously impacted us and grown the practice.
I can breathe through my nose much better, and my passageway in my throat, I can breathe much better.
Training I've received, I would say, as a 10 out of 10. I think that I have transformed the way I think about dentistry. It's transformed my level of professionalism and my ability to really be unique in what services I deliver to patients, my expertise, being more holistic. And patients really, really love it. And I feel that they trust me more because I have this training. So I would say 10 out of 10.
From the ages 13 to 14, I had ceramic braces. I was always tired, never felt well rested, unable to focus half the time. And when it came to sleeping at night, I would get sleep, but I would be interrupted every 2 hours and I would not be able to fall back asleep until hours later. I would wake up feeling unrefreshed as if I got no sleep at all. But with Dr. Liao's Airway device, I was well rested. Second off, I felt more confident. I was more focused on everything. And I found myself being way more organized than I was the previous year. And life just seemed easier to me and more organized, and everything was just all around easier.
The things I wanted to share that Dr. Liao and I talked about in the beginning was the fact that I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and yet here's something I can get ready to do even if I can no longer actually drill on teeth. It's a nice segue into helping patients get healthier and perhaps taking a young associate in who can do the hands-on dentistry of drilling and filling, if you will, while I go and get teeth into the right position. A, B, C before D, which is airway, breathing, and circulation before you do the dentistry. It's a nice way to make a living because there's a lot of people who need that help, and there's not a lot of area in dentistry or medicine that's going to help them with that. And so AMD it's in my opinion, the only way to go to help them achieve that.
My satisfaction with AMD training is at a level of, I would say, a 10. With AMD mentoring is 1 to 10 is a 10. Dr. Liao is fantastic. I could not have asked for a better mentor. I have treated several patients with my, AMD training, and I have to say that all of them have been 100% satisfied. So I say a level of 10.
I was talking to my bookkeeper. She said, "You're almost 700,000 this year." I go like, what? The framework of the AMD sets your practice apart. And because of that, your production more than double. That's just for one dentist, by the way. It's a very promising field. It has this unique value proposition, I would say, when it comes to business growth. You get more referrals because if you have one patient as a child and then the mom learn about your diagnosis, the mom would say, "Oh, what about me? Oh, what about my husband? Oh, what about my other children?" It's so rewarding financially, very satisfactory, I would say.
I've been wearing the appliances for 17 months now, and I feel like my asthma has been cured. I recently had the flu, and I didn't have to use my inhaler at all. I didn't have any problems with my asthma, which is amazing to me because anytime I get sick, that would be the first thing that would aggravate me. And I haven't used my inhaler in over a year.
I was someone who had braces twice. I didn't get my tonsils and adenoids removed until I was 38 years old. I had a tonsillar abscess, clencher, self-induced trauma and recession because of it all. I so wish my dentist would have been an AMD dentist. I would have known the things that I know now back in the day, or that my dentist would have known the things back in the day. But you can correct yourself at any age. And I'm 60 years old now. AMD training is affecting me professionally and personally. First of all, I have the appliance myself, so I'm getting to see exactly what the patients are experiencing with it. So it's helpful for me to be able to communicate with them. Start Thriving appliance has caused me to feel more calm. Just had my teeth cleaned recently, and my overall experience was so much better because my teeth were not sensitive like they used to be. My recession has already started to improve by itself without any surgical intervention, which was fascinating to me as a dentist. I feel that the AMD community is an amazing community. I think that this is going to be the most powerful thing in the future because now we're realizing how this airway affects whole body, and that, that needs to be ideal and optimized for the human to survive and thrive.
This training has been critical in my ability to fully understand how to better treat people, whether it be TMJ issues, airway issues, just dental issues, anything that needs to be corrected needs a good foundation, and knowing how to address and develop that foundation, I find to be key in getting people to a better oral health and overall systemic health.
As a result of all of this, I can sleep more soundly, had better erectile experiences, specifically nocturnal erections.
I have a frozen shoulder. I'm not working. I have a problem with TMJ. There's pain in my joint and radiates to my right side of my neck. Well, this started when I had the traditional orthodontic braces in 2018. After my orthodontic treatment, it just removed the life in me. I signed up with AMD and got sold with doing the training because I have a direct access to the founder, Dr. Liao, and he's very practical. My appliance was delivered when I was on the first day of training, and after wearing it, for a few days, you can feel it's getting less and less. The pain is getting less and less. For me, the benefit is immediate because the pain relief was immediate.
The financial impact I've experienced from being an AMD has been tremendous. I started my AMD journey in 2020, and since then I've treated over 250 patients, and it's accumulated to over $1 million of income. If I had not gone down the journey of being an AMD, I believe I would still be struggling to hit my goals every month, and I would not have evolved as much as a dentist and a practitioner. I now have patients that seek me for these expertise, and I am so thrilled to be one of the only ones in Tennessee that offers this care. So it really distinguishes me as a practitioner and has really helped me figure out my why in dentistry.